Good afternoon, class, and welcome to week 5 of our lesson, activity 1.2, A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words. As a recap, last week we covered the types of sketches, just a brief overview of the overall lesson, and where we focused on thumbnail sketching. This week we're going to focus on isometric sketching as well as multi-view sketching. So let's get to it. So Tuesday, September 15th, we will be annotating the course reading on isometric sketching. And just like the first lesson of this unit, we're going to annotate the text. If you need to watch the video, I highly advise you to do that as well. And what I'm looking for when you are annotating the text. So when you are annotating, you are focusing on what you are reading. You are understanding the details of the text. You're keeping track of your thoughts and feelings, and also keeping track of the important notes and details. And you're doing that to prepare for a discussion, as well as write about the information you have gathered. So I highly advise you to watch this video and also read the directions and the strategies in annotating the text. Okay, so again, your assignment is to read the isometric sketching lesson. You're also going to read each paragraph. As you are reading each paragraph, you're going to annotate the text by posting your annotation of the 4 paragraphs as a discussion post. So in posting your annotations, you're going to click on the reply button and you're going to annotate the 4 paragraphs, just as the video explained above. And then when you are finished, you're going to click on the post reply button. And after you are finished annotating, please click on the back button and continue with week 5's lessons and assignments. Okay, so isometric sketching. At the end of this unit, the lesson objective as well as the goal is for you to understand how to draw and interpret visual representations of objects. It is our goal to understand how isometric and multi-view sketches give you, as the designer, the ability to express yourself easily and articulately when you are designing a product. It is also our goal for you to understand how to communicate information using engineering drawings as well as measurement conventions. Your resources are going to be the activity 1.2 sketching reference and sketching line types. This is going to be on your quiz, so I would take the resources very seriously. So definitely look at the activity 1.2 sketching reference. You're going to need a ruler. It's not required, but it will be helpful to use your 3/4 inch cubic linking cubes. But most importantly, you're going to need your isometric as well as your Cartesian graph paper. If you have a printer, you can click on this link and download the isometric and Cartesian graph paper on your computer and print it out on your home printer. If you don't have a printer, feel free to download the isometric graph paper as well as your Cartesian graph paper on a flash drive. Take that flash drive to Kinko's and print out the paper that you need. Okay, so anyhow, your lesson is to read over the read over the isometric sketching literature and annotate the text. So at this time, let's go over this text together. So isometric sketching. An isometric view is used to realistically represent an object and communicate details that are difficult to describe in words. When an isometric view is drawn by hand, we call this an isometric sketch. In an isometric sketch, the object appears 3-dimensional. 3 sides of an object are shown, and the size and location of features on the object are proportional to the real thing. So let's take a look at figure 1, the isometric view of a cube. The dimensions in the isometric view are labeled width, depth, and height. So take a look at the width. The width is always going to be on your left-hand side. Your depth is going to be on your right-hand side, and your height, of course, is going to be your non-vertical lines. And you also want to reference your front, your right side view, and your top view of an object. So your front view is going to be always be on the side of the width, which is your left-hand side. Your right side view, of course, is going to be on the right-hand side of your object, and your top view is going to be directly above. The width and the depth lines are drawn at a 30-degree angle from the horizontal baseline as shown. So when you are starting your isometric sketch on isometric paper, you're going to find a point where all of the isometric lines comes together as an intersection point. So you're going to find that intersection point, put a dot on that intersection point with your pencil, use your ruler, and create a horizontal baseline. Now your horizontal baseline will not be on one of the 30-degree lines. It's going to be a horizontal line as shown in figure 1. If you measure the width, depth, and height of an object in an isometric view, the measurements are in proportion of a real object. When making an isometric sketch, it is imperative to orient the view so that as much information is shown on the 3 visible sides as possible. So in this course, we will always orient the object in the isometric sketch view so that the front view of the object is turned towards the left corner of the drawing, as shown in figure 1, okay? So I just want to reiterate that. So when we are drawing your isometric sketch, the front of your object is going to be where? To the left side of your view, just like figure 1. All right, so lastly, when developing realistic sketches require a sense of proportion, you must accurately represent the size, angles, and other spatial relationships of the real object. Now let us talk about the characteristics of an isometric sketch. Let's take a look at figure 3, the isometric sketch example of a clothespin. Okay, so when you're looking at the clothespin, the isometric sketch appears 3-dimensional because 3 sides are shown. So take a look. So the front, you have your front view or your width, which is on your left-hand side. You have your right side view or your depth, and take a look at the top view or your height. 3 dimensions are shown simultaneously. In an isometric sketch, all principal dimensions, width, depth, and height, are represented in true proportion. Okay? Your width and your depth lines are drawn at a 30-degree angle from the horizontal baseline. So take a look at the horizontal baseline, and the angles are always at a 30-degree angle. So the isometric paper that you should create your isometric sketches on will help you draw lines at a 30-degree angle, because every line other than the vertical lines are 30 degrees from one another. So when you start your drawing again, you're going to create your horizontal baseline by finding one of the intersection points, right? So you find an intersection point, it can be any one. Once you find it, you just put a dot on that intersection point, put your ruler on that dot, and draw your horizontal baseline. That is a very important part of your drawing, okay? All height lines are vertical. So in figure 3, where are your vertical lines? Of course, you have your red line right here. This is vertical. And then you see the corner, the tip of the clothespin on your far left, these lines right here are vertical. And the right side view, way at the other end, right here, that's your vertical line as well. So there are 3 vertical lines, okay? And lastly, the shape of the object faces are distorted, meaning not represented as true shapes, okay? So we're going to get plenty of practice of drawing just a square, an isometric square, and an isometric rectangle, okay? When we are creating isometric sketches of any form, we're going to start off drawing our isometric rectangle as well as a square, because that is going to be our reference, keeping everything in proportion. And then once you draw your sketch, you should be able to erase some of your construction lines, so everything look in proportion. So if you look at figure 3, believe it or not, they have drawn an rectangle, an isometric rectangle. You can kind of see it. So take a look at the depth line of the clothespin, and then you look at this vertical line right here, and then you look at this line along the top. There was an isometric square. That was their reference. These were reference points to draw the actual sketch, okay? So we're going to get plenty of practice. Make sure you annotate the text, and once you are finished annotating, click on the post reply button and your work will be submitted. And when you finish, when you click on post reply, make sure you click the back button and continue on with week 5 lessons and assignments. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing all of your work, and God bless, and let's have fun learning.